What is going on, my guys, gals, non-binary pals, and nerds everywhere? Welcome back to Nerd Explosion, the weekly podcast where, based on a monthly theme, we nerd out, but whatever we want. I'm Cameron, and Caitlin is not here this week. She is taking the week off to mentally reset and just get back in a better state of mind because there's been a lot going on recently, and she asked me if I would be offended if she skipped out on the episode this week, and I was like, no problem at all. I can totally do this solo. You know, it'll be just like the good old days. If you've been following me since the beginning, first of all, thank you. I don't know how you managed to follow me this long, but thank God for you. But if you are familiar with my older content, it would be just like the old days. So awkward as hell is the best way to describe that. But anyway, let's get on to what the theme for September is. And the theme I've chosen for the month of September is video game music. Because for me personally, when I play games, along with, you know, how a game looks and how it plays, one of the most important things to me is video game music. I actually thought about pursuing that as a career, like being a composer for the video games and stuff. But there was a lot of work that goes into that, and I never actually went to college for it. So those dreams are dashed, but I get to talk about it here. And now the rest of this month, we're going to be doing like top 10 lists. I'm going to be doing a top 5 because the rest of the episodes is going to be like Caitlin chooses 5, I choose 5, put them together, a top 10, you know? But this episode, and so I don't have to subject Caitlin to all of this nonsense, I'm going to be covering my top 5 Kingdom Hearts tracks. But before we get into that, new episodes of this podcast come out every Saturday, so make sure you do all the things and all the stuff on all the different platforms, link in the description. But with that, let's get into my top 5 Kingdom Hearts tracks. So, along with everything else with Kingdom Hearts, I mean, it's no surprise that I absolutely love the series. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts for like the past 20 years, and I've pretty much beaten all, you know, everything they have to offer, except for 358 over 2 days, but that's really hard to emulate sometimes, and given that I can't play it anymore because Disney or Nintendo is really strict about ROMs and stuff, so I can no longer play 358 over 2 days. But that being said, along with everything else about Kingdom Hearts, you know, the story, the characters, all that stuff, one of the biggest things I love about Kingdom Hearts is the music. And to start things off, my number 5 pick is, let me pull it up here, Organization 13, like the theme for Organization 13. I like it because it fits the organization so well. Like, they're mysterious, and the track itself sounds very mysterious. You're like, I want to know, like, these are supposed to be the villains, but you can't help but be like, okay, what is their backstory? What is, you know, how do they feel? You know, what is their story? What is their ad? What is their Insta? What is their Snapchat? What is their OnlyFans? You know, it just really makes you really think about like who these people are and like what their actual goal is, and you want to know more about them. So my number 5 pick is Organization 13. Moving on to number 4. And I forgot to mention that Organization 13 track is in multiple games, but I think it started, like, you first hear it in, either 358 over 2 days or Chain of Memories. I can't remember if it's a Chain of Memories or not. It's been so long since I played either. But moving on to my number 4 pick, and this is from Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically. My number 4 pick is Cavern of Remembrance. Now, the Cavern of Remembrance is like a side thing you can do where you go through this whole cave, and there's parts of it where you have to use all the stuff you've learned throughout your journey, like different abilities and like from drive forms and stuff. And if you get all the way through, you go through this hallway where you fight like really like the hardest nobodies in the entire game. And once you get through that, your reward at the end is this room where you can refight Organization 13 members, like the data versions of them. And as far as I know, when you beat all of them, you get a little crown for your troubles. And I've managed to get all the way through that. When I played it, I haven't done all the data fights yet, but I got to that room. So like once that room's open, you just go wherever. But when you first enter the Cavern of Remembrance, this is really like, I would describe it as kind of groovy track, and it kind of gets you like, oh, this is mysterious, but also it's kind of a vibe. So my number 4 pick is Cavern of Remembrance. Alright, my number 3 pick is going to be kind of a departure from those upbeat sounding ones. My number... Wait, did I say 4? No, I said 3. My number 3 pick is a track called Rage Awakened. Now, this track plays in Birth by Sleep, and I believe it's also in Kingdom Hearts 2. And the reason I like this is because it fits the scenario so well. In Kingdom Hearts 2, this track plays when you're fighting Lingering Will, which, if you know the lore of Kingdom Hearts, it's what was left of Terra after Xehanort basically took over his body. His fighting spirit, his Lingering Will, as it is, took over Terra's armor that he had, and basically lives on inside this armor. And you can find it in as a secret boss fight in Kingdom Hearts 2. And I just remember it because the music fits the fight so well. And I remember it's ingrained in my mind because I had to do that fight like several thousand times because Lingering Will was, my God, was he tough. But anyway, my number 3 pick is Rage Awakened. right, now we're down to number 2. My number 2 pick goes to Sacred Moon. Now, this is the track that plays when you get to the world that never was in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it really fits because it's this mysterious world. You have no idea, who lives in it, what it is. This is your first time seeing it. I mean, unless you played 350 over 2 days, I guess. But with this track, it's like you get there for the first time. It's very mysterious. You're like, you don't know what's going on. All you know is that it's basically the HQ of Organization 13, and this is, you're gearing up towards the end game. So number 2 goes to Sacred Moon. Before we get to number 1, I do want to put in a honorable mention here. My honorable mention goes to Neverland Sky. While this is a really great track and probably one of my favorites in the original Kingdom Hearts, I didn't want to fit it in my top 5 because I liked everything else. I put in my top 5 more than this, but I still wanted to keep it in the video, so an honorable mention goes to Neverland Sky. This track plays after you finish, obviously, in Neverland. You fight Captain Hook and you go back to the clock tower in London, and you're able to fly around because you had just learned the ability glide, and you're able to fly around the clock tower in London, and this is the track that plays. I really like it because it's just a sense of like, it's basically, it feels like a good relaxing moment. Like everything that Sora's done up to this point, he's thrust into worlds he's never seen. He's been given this responsibility that he never asked for. And this just feels like a moment where you can just stop and relax and have fun, So my honorable mention goes to Neverland Sky. So my number 1 pick, I did this. Did I do this last time? No, I didn't do this last time I mentioned this because I did an episode about PlayStation games, and I did Kingdom Hearts right at the end. And I think I mentioned this game, but I didn't say it was like my number 1. I don't know what I was thinking then. This is my ultimate favorite track of all time. Number 1 goes to Hollow Bastion, and this track plays in Hollow Bastion. There are 2 different versions of this track. There's the one that plays in the original Kingdom Hearts, and then there's like a different version that plays in Kingdom Hearts 2 called Reviving. It's either called Reviving Hollow Bastion but it's basically combining. It's when Hollow Bastion turns back into Radiant Garden, and the Radiant Garden theme is essentially the same track. But I love the track in Kingdom Hearts 1 that's just called Hollow Bastion, because in that, it's this mysterious castle, and when you first get there, your Keyblade has been taken away from you, so you're literally, your only defense is the fact that you have Beast with you, and it's just one step closer to the end of the game. It's this mysterious, it gives a sense of like doom, but also hopefulness, like, all your power is taken away from you, but just hang on there. Your friends are your power. As cheesy as that sounds, my friends are my power. I just really liked it because it's just so intense and so epic. I just really enjoy it. So to close out this episode, my number one pick is Hollow Bastion. Have a good one. Drink your water. Nerds out.
You